Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me here on YouTube. My name is Don Ali Hugo. I'm here tonight to discuss the last 12 months of my 17-year search for my biological family in Colombia. This evening, I'm going to send some shockwaves throughout Colombia that will affect certain parties who have a dire and heartless desire to prevent me and my newfound siblings from finding our biological family and our roots, which we believe is a basic human right. This evening I'll be going over the details of our most recent investigation during the past 12 months and some of the key achievements. You see the agenda here to my left, so let's get straight to the investigation. The first item up is my brother found. My brother and I found each other through Facebook about 1 year ago, and we put ourselves in touch. We were very excited, very shocked. But we knew we had something that linked us, which was the name Gloria Olga Parra on both our adoption papers, our relinquishment forms to be exact. We went ahead and did a DNA test. It came out 99.99% positive match for being siblings. You'll see item number 2 here is sister found. After this discovery, I emailed every person on my Facebook friends list individually, explaining the situation and asking them to please forward my information to anyone they knew, especially Colombians and adopted Colombians. It turned out that I had already known my sister. She was actually one of those people on my Facebook friends list. We had communicated some years earlier through a forum on adoption in Colombia, and when I joined Facebook I added her, but somehow we never put 2 and 2 together through photos or what have you. Anyway, she called me about 3.5 seconds after I sent the email to her, and we got very excited, and once we settled down, we went ahead and did a DNA test, the 3 of us. It came back again 99.99% positive for being biological siblings, the 3 of us. You'll see here we go to item number 3, Gloria Olga Parra. Who is this Gloria Olga Parra? She was our presumed mother. She no longer is. We'll get into that later. Her signature and her thumbprint appears on the 3 siblings adoption papers. And the thing with that was that I had previously been searching. I was in Colombia for much of the 90s, and I already knew that no one by this name existed in the National Registry, Registraduría Nacional. And so I had sort of given up and was hoping for some new technology, new breakthrough, and it came through with Facebook, DNA testing, fingerprints, and a lot of other things. So anyway, we'll move, I'll explain more of that. So let's see, after reviewing our adoption papers and comparing the 3 siblings' biographical information and all that, we noticed many discrepancies, and I'll show a couple tonight. This information will be on all of our Facebook pages in the photo section. So you can see here, this is my relinquishment form in my left hand, and you can see that in 1976 this Gloria Olga Parra was from Pitalito, Huila, and she was 18 years old. Yet somehow the following year, when my brother was turned into orphanage, she became 23. 1 year difference. You can see the signature at the bottom. We'll get to that later. But that was just one of the many discrepancies that we found in our adoption documents from La Casa de Madre al Niño, the orphanage in Bogota, Colombia. So the other one was, why did she have no personal identification? If she was 18 years old, she should have had some identification. There's no doubt about it. In Colombia, once you turn 18, you need to have a cédula, which is their ID. Let's see, we also had many other irregularities, such as biographical information of the mother and father was different. Furthermore, we noted that we have never seen a case where 4 children were turned into one orphanage, 1 a year for 4 consecutive years. Now, I have seen hundreds of cases of adoption from Colombia spanning the 1960s all the way up to today, and we have never seen this. In fact, I will mention here that FANA in particular, they're very good about trying to put siblings together, that they'll actually go and reach out to a family who may have adopted a child who ended up having another sibling being turned in for adoption. Why La Casa didn't do that in our case, we won't know. We will never know. They won't talk to us about it. There was one startling piece of information in our adoption papers, however, and that was that in my brother's papers, it mentioned the day that I was given up for adoption. And linked to that was the fact that we also have a missing sibling, could be boy or girl, who was born and or adopted in around 1975, and adopted, that is. He or she was adopted. So we decided from there that we must search and we must do everything we can to try to find that sibling and our mother. Alright, you'll see here our next item is fingerprints. Now we noticed on my brother's relinquishment form, which was actually an original, which must have been a mistake or whatever it was, but it served us very well, that on his relinquishment form, which was an original, there was a very clear print, fingerprint. And we decided that we were going to take that and use that newfound print, which wasn't clear on the rest of our adoption forms, to go ahead and look at things from a forensic point of view. So we commenced a forensic investigation. We made a highly sophisticated digital copy of the fingerprint so that it could be used going forward. Now we'll go to Gloriacita Parra Figueroa, and that's where this all comes in here. Basically what happened was that with some help from our new contacts in the Colombian government, specifically DAS, which is Departamento Administrativo de Seguridad, which is the National Intelligence Agency, you could say, or almost like the FBI here in America. The fingerprint was run against their entire database of all registered people, all criminals, all felons, everyone they had in the database. Ironically enough, this was paid for by the U.S. Department of Justice. It was part of Plan Colombia. It came out 2006 or so. So even if I had this in the 1990s, it probably wouldn't have done much good. In any case, we went ahead. We used multiple intermediaries. We didn't tell anyone at DAS or communicate to them. And the intermediary who actually delivered this to DAS didn't even know who we were, why we wanted this done, what our goals were. They didn't know the name Gloria Olga Parra. They didn't know the name Gloriacita Parra Figueroa. They knew absolutely nothing except some people who they thought were locals wanted a fingerprint run against the DAS database to identify and locate a person. So here you go. You can see here, this is a printout showing the name Gloriacita Parra Figueroa. We blacked out some of her personal identifying information right here, but you can see all her fingerprints here. This came from 2002 when she renewed her cédula, which is ID in Colombia. We left some things there, just you can see the cédula, that she's in Pitalito, Huila, that she's a woman, and you can see all her fingerprints there. So basically, with that piece of information, with the fingerprint we had, it came out as a single match to pulgar derecho, which is a right thumbprint, and you can see that right here. We took this off of a form, and it was a computer match. It wasn't a person match. It was 1 out of 40 some million, everyone in the country, and there's no errors. Okay, we're up to number 6, Olga versus Sita. So why is there Olga on our adoption papers but Sita according to the woman whose fingerprint was there? Well, the reason is basically she used an alias. And we know the name Olga was actually her best friend from childhood. We know this from testimony from her neighbors, from her extended family, from her teachers, from the rector at her colegio, which is her elementary and high school. We know this from even clergy people who know her, who know the family, people in the clergy. So we put 2 and 2 together. Funny little story, we actually found the woman Olga, all grown up. We spoke to her through an intermediary. She was very upset that Gloria used her name. She was livid, actually. She said that she didn't know why Gloria did this. She didn't know why she gave up so many children for adoption. And she said she wants nothing to do with Gloria, and she wished us good luck.